So Pokemon has the distinction of being a series, firstly, that is very near and dear to my heart, but more, even more maybe pertinently to this conversation, it is the first video game I ever picked up. Pokemon Red was the first game I ever played outside of maybe something like Duck Hunt or something. It was my first game. Super Mario 64 came shortly after, but Pokemon Red for the Game Boy Color was the first game I ever played, and it obviously captured me. It made me realize what video games even were, what they were capable of, but the game that really opened my eyes the most to that was Pokemon Silver, I believe I played, not Gold, because it introduced to me properly what my favorite thing about the Pokemon series is. And after that, I got, very shortly after playing Pokemon Silver, I got into what was my favorite game, remains one of my favorite games of all time, and the most influential game for forming my tastes as they are currently, which is Paper Mario. But Pokemon was the lead into that, which makes it nearly as important to me. And more of an important series to me than Paper Mario. Pokemon is right up there with Legend of Zelda, Final Fantasy, Yakuza, as one of the most important video game series, one of my favorite video game series ever. And it is a part of who I am today. But the thing about Pokemon is, as you might know, if you've seen my regional analysis videos on the regions of Pokemon, which to this day are some of my favorite videos that I've ever done. I'm very happy with them. I think I really captured the ambience and themes and atmosphere and spirit of the regions really, really well. And I don't often compliment myself in this way, so hopefully this doesn't come off as conceited or anything, because I will criticize my videos way more easily than I will praise them. But with these Pokemon videos, I think I did a very good job, and I actually go back and watch them because I just genuinely enjoy them. I think they get across what is the magic of the Pokemon series. Of course, Pokemon is multifaceted, it has many things that it's great at, but what is most important about Pokemon to me is the region. Is immersing yourself in a region as you obviously catch these Pokemon, but learning about the world they inhabit, the world you as the player inhabit, and going throughout the towns and talking to NPCs, and learning about the themes of the region, what the average day-to-day citizen of Johto, for example, is fixated on. What is their culture? What is the culture from town to town? How does NPC dialogue provide you with a through line of the ambience of the environments you inhabit? What is the geographical cohesion, If it's snowy in one area, is there sort of a natural progression to that? Does it get colder as you go more north? Does it get wilder as you go more south? If there's a forested area, is the economy reflective of that? For example, Azalea Town in Pokemon, in the Johto games, is their economy, they're deep in the sort of southern forests of Johto, and their economy is largely dependent on forestry and the Kurtz Pokeballs, which are made from apricorns, which are the local, they're throughout the region, but pertinently, the local economy. The well, the Slowpoke well, the shrine in the forest that's part of the culture surrounding Celebi. All these little world-building details, the world that immerse you, the world, the atmosphere, the ambience, the music accompanying it all of that, the worlds of Pokemon, the feel of Pokemon, the immersion and lore and culture of Pokemon, and how authentically it's communicated through NPC dialogue, visual cues, environments, indirectly through the Pokemon that inhabit these different areas. How authentic that world feels is what is my favorite thing about video games in general, but specifically the Pokemon series. And that's why Pokemon's generation, the Johto games, the Hoenn games, the Sinnoh games, and a bit less so, but the Unova games are my favorite, and they're the peak of Pokemon to me. Unova a little less so, but I still think it does some really great stuff. I made a video about Unova a couple of years after I made my videos about the other regions, but specifically my videos on Sinnoh, Johto, and Hoenn, and how these settings are so beautifully communicated and presented to give you an overall cultural, thematic, cohesive picture to immerse yourself in. The littlest details to the grandest, how it intersects with the plot, all of that. Pokemon was in their prime when they were focusing on that type of storytelling. That shifted around Black and White, and I think it's great. I think you have the best characters in the series in Black and White, probably. In Black and White too. But they kind of sacrificed a little bit that setting-based storytelling, and then from X and Y onwards, I think it became much less of a focus. X and Y and Sun and Moon, the settings are a focus, but the style shifted. And then even more so once you get to Sword and Shield and Scarlet and Violet. I think Pokemon was just forever changed from that pivot point at Generation 5, and it never recaptured that. And while I do think the games have kind of declined in modern Pokemon, and I think there isn't quite as much polish there. I think also, just more than anything, the series has started becoming, in terms of its narrative style, not my bag, really. It's not really for me as much. I'm not in Pokemon necessarily for, a more front-loaded plot. Or I'm in Pokemon for the world. And, they present the world, but they don't put as much focus on the little NPC details, the bits of cohesion, the geographical progression, the culture, and how it connects with the economics and the thematics and all of that stuff. I think that really declined as the series went on, and it just became a series that wasn't quite as focused on what I love. And that's okay. Not everything has to cater to me, and I had 4 generations full of games I love, but specifically 3, and I'm just like, I'll take what I can get, I had Gold, Silver, Crystal, the remakes, I had Omega Sapphire, Alpha Ruby, maybe I'm getting that backwards, Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Incredibly formative games for me. And my favorite, Platinum, and the Sinnoh games. I had that, and I was glad I had that at all, for them to speak so deeply to my soul. And it's okay that the series is not really for me anymore. But I kind of became disillusioned with modern Pokemon over the last 6, 7, don't say anything, years. And it became less of my thing. Even though I'm always going to check out and be interested in the new Pokemon game, my expectations lowered, and it became like, let's try to have some fun rather than, hopefully this is a new favorite. The announcement for Pokemon Wind and Waves came out recently, and I checked out the Pokemon. I think it's cool. It looks like a vast region. I would be down if they didn't do another sort of southern island, tropical-ish region, but whatever. I'm down to explore it, and I love settings, and I want to explore this setting, but I kind of felt when I first saw Pokemon Wind and Wave stuff, it was kind of in futility. Like, they don't do that anymore. And I'm not expecting them to do that anymore, but, you never know, so let's check it out. And it looks good. Wind and Waves looks good. I'm excited for it next year. Now, let me skip forward a bit. You know what's going on with the electronics industry, but games industry. Prices are erupting all over the place. AI is causing computer parts to be way more expensive, GPUs, etc. Everything's getting more expensive. It's more expensive than ever to be a gamer. So, and in combination with that, the Canadian dollar is not super strong right now. So I took it upon myself to look at Switch 2s, which I hadn't bought last year, but look at them and be like, maybe now's the time to get it. If I want to play Pokemon next year, if I want to get into the Fire Emblem, the new Fire Emblem game that's coming out, let's get a Switch 2. So I splurged on that. I got a Switch 2, and the first thing I wanted to do was check out the Pokemon Legends games. I had not gotten into them, maybe because it was fatigue with modern Pokemon, modern Game Freak, or whatever. I just never got into them. I heard decent things about them, I heard bad things about them, but I never got into the Legends games for whatever reason. I never played them. But I wanted to try them. I've been wanting to try the Legends Arceus game for years, just never got around to it, and I thought this was a great opportunity. I finished all the off-stream games I've been playing, I'm done, so it was a great opportunity for that. So I got my Switch 2, I started playing Pokemon Legends Arceus, and my goodness, do I love this game. I thoroughly enjoy it. Now, of course, it is about the history of Sinnoh. It is about Sinnoh's past, and so it definitely is AJ core. It definitely appeals to my specific sensibilities, and I'm going to be the first to admit that. However, having said that, it is just imbued with this beautiful Pokemon spirit that is the soul of what I love about it. Now, it just gets it. It just gets what I love about Pokemon. Now, is it a beautiful plot? Is it a complex plot with super well-written characters? No. Is the dialogue super well-written and really tight and efficient? No. Are the visuals out of this world in Breath of the Wild, level? No. Is there scope to it to rival the best open worlds? No. And are there flaws to some of the things they did? Yeah, for sure. This isn't a 10 out of 10 game. I'll probably end up giving it like a strong 8 or something. Because it does have problems, it does have rough edges, it does have limitations, but my god, the things it does right. I have been so in love with this game since I started it. Immediately. The way it celebrates, I think, how modern Pokemon and the worlds we know came to be, specifically for the Sinnoh games. Oh, I just think it's incredible. I just love it. The way they use music, the way the Eterna Forest leitmotif and theme was remixed into the forest theme in the earlier parts of this game. Incredible. I completely ascended when I heard that. The way the Jubilife theme, the Jubilife village, which ultimately becomes the sprawling metropolis of Jubilife City, starts off very simple with Jubilife Village, and I'm like, okay, that's a comfy theme, I guess, and then gets layers as the city builds up, and a community builds, and becomes the Jubilife theme we know. No words, man. That is magic. That is magic, and... Sorry, let me... through my playlist. That is magic, and that is what Pokemon is. The legacy of Pokemon, how it celebrates that, how it talks about how communities build, and how history unfolds. The history that we learned about in the more contemporary, modern time period, we see it come to light. We see these ancestors, maybe there's a few too many, of the characters we know. We see how things came to be. We see these areas that we explore much more rough and much more unformed, and we see how it all comes together. And I've just been enjoying so much building my Pokemon team, not knowing what to encounter, being able to just catch them. It flows so well. I really enjoyed the moment-to-moment combat gameplay. On the open world, just throwing your ball, maybe you catch them, maybe you don't, just keep moving, maybe you throw your Pokemon to fight them, building up your Pokedex. They changed so many things. They changed so many things about the style, but I really love the direction. I love how bold it is. I love how it pays heed to the past or the future diegetically, because the Sinnoh games and the Pokemon games that I love chronologically happen in the future after that, but the games before it. The way it is such a celebration of the Sinnoh and Pokemon and the Pokemon formula and what it does well, the focus it has on the setting and the themes and the culture and how it comes to be, and how all the characters really, through their dialogue, dwell on that. And how wonderful it is to just explore this new Hisui, this new region. Well, it's not a new region, but that I don't know about. I don't know which Pokemon are available. I didn't know what the starters were. I'm not locked in. I don't have that knowledge. And to just be wide-eyed and just not know and just be curious to build my team. I put together a great team. It is the new Hisuian Typhlosion, Gengar, Scizor, Gyarados, Gliscor, and... Gudra. Great team, love my team, and it's come together completely organically, and me just going, okay, I want a Gengar on my team, but we have a bit, it's kind of a soft team. Oh, Is that a Gumi? Let me catch that. That's a, you know, a tanky, a bit of a wall. But ooh, we have a bit of a problem with ground. Let's get a Gyarados. Ooh, we have a bit of a we need some physical bulk. Let's get a Gliscor. You know, I just kind of put it together like that, and that's so much fun. That was so much fun. And just the emphasis this has on organically. Not too much focus on the plot, although the plot is interesting. Not too much focus on the minute details or the you know, the things I think that became more of the focus in modern Pokemon, which is you know, just putting the setting-based storytelling in the background. This brings it to the foreground, and it's exactly what I wanted, and it does it very, very well. I just have a smile on my face whenever I play this game. I'm not done it. I've actually gotten to the point where I just saw Mesprit, Uxie, and Azelf, and I collected their artifacts to put together the red chain because some calamity's happening. I also really love how the story focuses on how scary it is that literally our player character popped out of the sky, and how it's, you know, people just don't trust that, and it makes sense, and, you know, it drives people to be extreme, but, to me, that makes sense. It's all great stuff, and, I don't know, I just been having such a great time. It's rough around the edges, it has some problems, but my god is it full of spirit and passion for Pokemon and all the things I love about it. I've just been grinning non-stop playing this game. I don't know how much is left. But that's where I am in the story. I got the red chain together. We're gonna try to, I think, go to the, I don't know what we're gonna do, but it seems like we're towards the end of the game. I'll see. I know there's some post-game stuff that I'm gonna do. It's all fantastic. The ambience of exploring, you know, the Alabaster Snowlands, that version of Snow, Route 216 leading into Snow Point. It's to die for. I love it. And because of how much I love this, I don't want this experience to end, but it's going to end pretty soon. By the time this video comes out, I'll probably be done it, or close to done it. Like, just about to finish it. I'll probably be done it. I've been playing it like mad. And right after that, I'm going to get into Legends ZA. From what I hear, that's even bolder, and it takes a different approach, and I think Lumiose City is a part of that, so that'll be really interesting. But this game, Legends Arceus, has reinvigorated my passion for modern Pokemon. It makes me more idealistic, more optimistic that maybe I'll love Legends ZA. Well, I'll see. Maybe, you know, there's a magic in Legends Arceus that may be hard to replicate. It's Sinnoh, right? It's Sinnoh, it's my first exposure to this style of Pokemon, and it's very likely that Legends ZA veers away from that. But I'm really open to seeing what it has in store for me, even if it's different. Maybe it'll polish some of the problems I have. I'm just really excited to get into ZA after I finish Legends Arceus, and I've been tweeting about it a lot. I've been talking about it in streams. I'll continue to do so. I'll give updates about it, but yeah, I'll get into Legends ZA after this, and I just kind of wanted to express how, I guess, my relationship, what I love about Pokemon, and how that's kind of dwindled with modern Pokemon, but how I feel like I am back with experiencing it in Legends Arceus, and very optimistic about Legends ZA, and even Pokemon Wind and Waves. Because of all this stuff, maybe, I know different teams, different staff, whatever, but I can't help but be more optimistic for Wind and Waves and a little less cynical than I was prior. And, yeah, I just wanted to sort of express all these things. As it stands, you know, I cannot see a world where this doesn't end up one of my favorite Pokemon games, Legends Arceus. Hopefully ZA will be the same, but I don't know. We'll see it when we see it. Yeah, I imagine this will end up in and around my top 5 Pokemon games. I really think so. I think it's one of the best Pokemon games I've played in spite of its flaws. And it's crazy because, well, I don't think this is necessarily wrong or that people are lying about this, but upon release, I heard so much about how awfully it plays. Technical limitations, frame rate drops, crashes, all sorts of technical problems, but I guess I'm privileged because playing the version on my Switch 2, there have been so few problems. You know, there's some pop in, you know, here and there. There's some Pokemon in the distance that, you know, they're going at 2 frames per second, where their animations are very stuttery, you know. It has that sort of thing, but that's about the extent of it. It's run really well outside of these small, tiny hiccups. And yeah, no problems whatsoever, really, outside of that, which I'm not going to complain much about. And yeah, I guess that's about it. I just kind of wanted to express how thoroughly how thoroughly I'm enjoying this, how I feel like a kid again with this. And of course, I'm not all of a sudden expecting the games I play from here on from Pokemon to recapture the magic of generations 2 to 4. Or for me to feel like I can experience a region as rich as Sinnoh or Hoenn or Johto again. But, you know, maybe I can recapture some of that. Maybe there is that in modern Pokemon and I've just not been seeing it, or maybe they're getting back to it a little bit. Who knows? But yeah, that's all I got. Feel free to share your thoughts on all of that I've said. On Legends Arceus, on modern Pokemon, on past Pokemon. Maybe you disagree with me. But if you haven't already, I do recommend, if any of what I said about Pokemon setting-based storytelling resonates with you or sounds interesting to you, I do recommend checking out those videos that I've made. I'll link them in the description. The whole playlist. There's 4 of them, if you're interested. If not, totally fine, of course. And yeah, that aside, I just kind of wanted to take a bit of time to gush about Legends Arceus and how much it's really impacted me and what I value in Pokemon and games in general. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've used this as background noise or something. Thanks for checking it out. Thanks for listening. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much.